Hello, everybody. This is Pat Cardinal, and this is the Live Like Lifestyle Podcast. I want to thank you so much for joining me on tonight. Man, I am so excited about tonight. Tonight, listen, you need your pen. Get your pen, get your paper, whatever you like to write with, whatever you need, because you are absolutely going to need it. The guest that I have on tonight is, well, you'll find out further along when we get into the actual podcast itself. But this man has literally changed my life in many ways. You see, when you believe something and you keep professing it, I guarantee you it will manifest. And so I want to introduce to you all Antonio T. Smith Jr. He is the CEO and founder of ATS Companies. This man is a real estate broker. He's a speaker. He's a public speaker. He's a coach. He is just so many things. I don't even have time to list them all right now. But God has blessed him with some incredible gifts. And he is using those gifts to help everybody, right? Because we are each a gift to the world. And so we should be using our gifts to help everyone. And so I'm actually going to give him a little bit of an opportunity to tell a little bit about him, about his story. We're going to be talking about wealth building. We're going to be talking about establishing, creating your own economy. We're going to talk about investments. We're going to talk about how to make millions. And you know why it's so important that we're going to talk about it? Because this is not a person that theorizes making millions. This is a person that already has made millions. So when someone has already walked the path that you're walking, it makes sense to sit down, listen, and hear what they have to say. He hails from Galveston, Texas, and has an extensive resume is the word I was trying to come up. Very extensive resume. He's accomplished a lot in the years that the Lord has given him on the earth. And I'll tell you, that is a life that is well lived. So without further ado, I am going to introduce to some are already familiar with this man, but you will all be enriched and enlightened by the end of this podcast. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce now Antonio T. Smith Jr.
Hey, what's happening? I'm here. Yes.
How are you?
Oh, I am doing well. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. And of course, you're just one of the greatest people that I know currently today. And you are tearing it up. So I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Yes. They tell me that you got some folk trying to see you from my audience, but it's on the friend setting. They're telling you to turn it public. You got a whole bunch of people trying to see your wonderful energy.
Oh, you mean on my Facebook page?
On your Facebook page. They want to see that wonderful energy.
You know what? This is ridiculous. Listen, let me not say that. Social media is awesome. It's just that trying to get it to work is a whole nother story for me.
Oh, I understand.
Yes. They may have to catch it. They may have to catch it later.
Let them catch it later. Come on, we roll with it.
I don't want to mess up this energy right now. I'm sorry, you you guys catch us on the replay, right? Because let me tell you something. I am, again, for you all that do not know, I am a part of ATS Companies. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But I want to tell you personally, because I'm on the calls in the morning, I want to tell you personally how appreciative I am of you. You just don't have any idea. I'm a person that believes in goals and writing things down and turning those things into positive affirmations. And, I believe in that. And I believe if you keep confessing those things, that those things are going to organize themselves to you. Mm-hmm. And so I was not, you don't always have to know where it's coming from, you guys. You just believe. You believe it's for you. And that's all you have to do. And you just watch God work. And so when I have been on this kick now, especially for about the last 5 years ago or so, about wealth building, about leaving a legacy, right? For those that are coming behind me. It has changed everything about how I think about what I purchased, how I purchased it, and everything. And so I just want to give you a thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
For just being who you are and allowing God to use you to bless somebody like me.
Well, God is good.
He is good all the time. So listen, you guys, I really wanted to, this is the kickoff of my second season. So you're the first person on the kickoff of my second season.
Talk your talk then. All right.
That's right. And so I had to get you on the show because there's so much information. I'm doing a little bit of talking at the beginning, but I promise you, I'm not going to be doing a lot of talking. I have a few questions. If we have time, I'll get to them. No big deal. You'll probably answer some of them anyway. But and it's something that you say that I agree with. When someone has accomplished something that you haven't, that you desire, mm-hmm. When somebody in the room has been where you're trying to get to, I kind of like be quiet and listen.
That's right.
I try to sit back and listen and learn, right? Because information is a true gift. And the application of it is even better. Yeah. So with ATS Companies, we get both the information and we also have the application of that information. And that is so powerful.
I appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
I got plenty to say just about what you just said there, but I'm going to keep letting you go.
And you know what? I'm going to let you roll the way you want to roll. All right? I'm going to let you roll how you want to roll. You go ahead on with it.
Well, I got a few things I put in my head. For one of the first things she said to y'all, you don't always have to know the way. I would tell you it's best that you don't know how. It's best that you don't know how, because what you end up doing is you end up telling God how to bless you. And God knows the fastest, quickest, most harmonious way to get that thing that you are desiring. So then what you have is your, I don't want to say limited thinking, but it is limited. You just have the way you want God to bless you, but that doesn't work out in the fastest, quickest, most harmonious way. So it's best to just say, Lord, have mercy on me. I don't mean to bring it up, but I know you're an evangelist, so I'm going to go ahead and talk to your crowd a little bit. You understand? My blind man friend didn't say, Lord, have mercy on me because, I'm blind, and what I would prefer you to do is if you can do it this way and that. No. One of the strongest prayers is, Lord, just get it done.
Yeah.
And then let God do it the way it's going to be. But notice that when they told him to shut up, he didn't shut up. Persistence gets you what you want when you don't know how. Not just faith. You have to persist in faith. So anyway, I just want to drop a little nugget right there. Hopefully that blesses somebody. But you keep on going. You're looking so good and you're talking so well. So you keep on going.
Well, thank you so much. Look, I couldn't get them lashes down. That's for somebody else. I can't. Yeah, I'm not good at that kind of stuff. But anyway, so what I'd like to, because a lot of times it's important for people to hear about your story because it makes the glory so much better, right? When people know your story, a lot of times people don't know your story. They have no idea why you are who you are. So give us a little bit of a background about who you are, where you come from.
Right. Yeah, I could do that in less than 3 minutes. I can condense my whole life less than 3 minutes. Born in 1981, life is fantastic, and then crack cocaine comes to the hood. That makes me the beginning of the millennial generation. And then my mother and father could not legally, morally, or ethically keep me because they both become addicted to crack cocaine. And from that crack cocaine, they're not able to feed me, not able to clothe me, not able to do many of the things that they want to do. So they give me up at 6. From there, I find my way homeless, and I find my way to a trash can. And in this trash can, city dumpster, I end up being hungry in that trash can, alone in that trash can, molested in that trash can. But the good thing, folks, is I got out that trash can. Yeah. And I remember looking up at a little blinking star, and I'm saying, you know what? One day I'm going to get to that star. And it made me realize, no, it's an airplane. And I put my mind on the airplane just traveling the world when I couldn't even, travel a city block. And that's what I do today. What I do today is I teach people, if you can get your mind out your trash can, your body must scientifically follow. Wow. So today I'm on flights everywhere teaching people how to get out of their proverbial trash cans. And it reminds me of a story by Spencer Johnson called Peaks and Valleys. It's a book. And there was this valley kid with mountain dreams, but he told his valley parents, valley girlfriend, valley friends, valley cousins, and you know how it is, Patricia. Valley folk will tell you what you can't do, even though they ain't did it themselves. Right. But he gets to the mountaintop eventually, knuckles bleeding and everything. And that's what I do in this real world today. I force people, or at least strongly encourage people, to get to their mountaintops. I do that through business, sales, and marketing. I do that through education and creating business systems for people so they can get it done. But I come from homeless from 6, not adopted until I'm 14, and then all the way aged out of CPS custody to 18 to being featured in Forbes today. I guess that's it right there.
Man, that is incredible. So you were literally living in a dumpster.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
I put myself through school. I had to forge my mom's paper, my mom's signature. And I always check corporal punishment. It's a thing in Texas. And I failed the 5th grade and the 6th grade. I didn't graduate on time. I actually dropped out of school in the 6th grade. When I failed the 5th grade, that was already embarrassing enough. But then when I went back the next year, I failed again. So now I'm really behind, right? And I can't handle that embarrassment. So I just drop out. But it was something I didn't process. And I'm born in the summer, so I'm 12 years old or whatever you're supposed to be. And I didn't process that school was feeding me twice a day. And here's the funny thing, and I hope this helps your audience. I got really hungry one night as a 6th grade dropout. And I realized, man, I probably need to go back to school. And listen to me, y'all. It wasn't going to college and with me back to school. It wasn't being a better person. No, I was hungry. And I don't mean a metaphorical hungry. I mean, my stomach was touching my back. I was hungry.
Wow.
And that invisible hunger pushed me back to school, and it eventually allowed me to graduate. And I want to tell somebody that my hunger was invisible. You couldn't hear it, but it was loud as my ears as an airplane engine. And sometimes you have God using hunger or whatever that may be for you, and nobody else can hear it but you. And it's the reason why you wake up at 3 a.m. feeling like you need to do more. It's the reason why you just aren't fulfilled. It's the reason why when the wind blows, it burns your heart because it's like a hole in it, because God's trying to tell you something.
Yeah.
And it's going to keep burning until you start living into your dream.
My. Come on now. No, that's the truth. That is the truth.
Yes,
you
ma'am.
know, I never wanted to be that person that they say, okay, they in the grave now. But what have they accomplished with their life? What have they done? What did they do? Who did they impact? Who did they bless?
I don't even know how to respond to that because that happens every day. No, I know what to say. Yeah. They're just not going to like what I'm going to say. Okay. But that's pretty much 96% of the world doing that right now. And since I know you have a predominantly Christian audience, let me holler at Christians for a second. We spend too much time praying about what God has already told you can have. And that is inappropriate. It's not appropriate to use God as an excuse not to be great. It's not appropriate to believe that it's something that's not in God's will, you can't have it. That's not the way it works. That's not the totality of the narrative of God. There's only one time in the narrative of God and when someone says, nevertheless, not my will, but your will. And that person had a whole different set of problems and destiny. And unless you trying to die for everybody else, that language don't apply to you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Other than that, God never said, oh, Patricia, come to the throne of grace boldly unless it ain't in my will. That's not what it's saying. Right? Exceedingly and abundantly above all you can ask or think for, unless it's not in my will. No, it says nothing is impossible.
Nothing
with me, right? You can have anything you ask if you just believe and receive. Ask in my name. You can do Peter, James, John, disciples. What I did to this fig tree, you can do the same thing. Matter of fact, same conversation. Tell this mountain be cast up and thrown into the sea. Problem is, we keep turning God's miracles into man's metaphors.
Oh my goodness.
That's what we keep. Either God spoke miracles and said we'll do greater things than God's self, and we done turned them into metaphors.
Yeah.
Everything I quoted just now from that ancient text, it's not in the parable. I made sure that I didn't say things that was in a parable. This was the protagonist saying his real talk.
Yeah.
So stop changing the miracles of God into your denominational walls metaphors. Don't do that. You can do anything you want to do.
Yeah, you can.
You just have to have persistence. And if it come back up, I'll remind myself to talk about faith and only 2 times you actually need it if it comes back up.
Okay. But no, I tell people that the same thing. What is his name? Pastor Frederick Price. I'll use a term he used a long time ago. God is not going to burn angelic energy to come and tell you something that he's already given you the authority to do.
I don't disagree
Why
with that.
would you do that? And people are always about, you waiting on God, He waiting on you for real. They waiting for the Lord to get up God to get up off the throne to come and talk to you about something that He has already set in the earth for you, when all you need to do is move, or if you don't understand, ask.
Yeah.
And right. We waste a lot of time. We've been given this creative power, and we waste a lot of time waiting for the right time. There is no such thing.
No.
The right time. There's no such thing. I've heard that. It doesn't exist.
If you believe in God, it's always the right time.
You move. That's your right time right there.
That's it. I completely agree. Every time I do shows, all sorts of time, and they always ask me, Antonio, what will be your last words to our audience? And I always say the same thing, and I'll say it right now without it being the end of the show. Move before you're ready. you're never going to be ready to move. So move. If you move, your brain, your body will say, fine, you move in. Fine, here's some endorphins. Here's a natural painkillers. We'll go ahead and warm them thigh muscles up so they can stop hurting. I know you got bad knees, but start jogging. See how your body will make sure that your knees be okay. Move before you're ready. You'll be just fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you, I've learned it. One of my coaches calls it the speed of implementation. Franco Charles, because he says his theory is move.
Yeah.
Because the longer you wait, the less energy is associated with what you were given, and you'll talk yourself out of it. Yeah. Like it won't be as important anymore. It'll slide to the wayside with everything else that you don't do or that you didn't do. But move on it, and move on it quickly.
Well, I'm glad you said that. So there's two things about that I can say from I'm just take a bunch of school of thoughts here and merge them all into one, a little smart gumbo here. For one, knowledge plus experience equals being. Without knowledge and experience, you can never be a being, number one. Number two, with just experience, you're going to accept you need knowledge. Number three, with just knowledge, you're never going to do because you know too much. You're going to procrastinate. You're going to be a know-it-all. You're going to be a naysayer. So you need the two together. To put this in a, I guess, biblical talk, God the Father would be knowledge. God the Son would be experience. And the being would live in you and give you power. As greater is he who's in me than he who is in the world. Right? So all three of them are sitting smack dead in one cohesive thing inside of you to live. So when you talk about moving, if you only have knowledge and you don't move, it's because you only have knowledge and you're never going to move.
Yeah.
The rest of the plan comes by moving. You have to move and stop praying. Prayer is only the first. So it came back up. Faith. It came back up naturally.
Right.
I wouldn't force it. It came back up. You only need faith in two places. Faith to get started. And then when you get knocked down and your jaw broken, faith to keep going. Other than that, you don't need faith. You don't need faith. Because they're going to tell you what you can't do. So you got to have faith. God says, Abram, go. Okay, got to have faith to believe and go.
Right.
They didn't need faith after that no more. It didn't need faith. But what he needed faith was that 25 years of silence, because God ain't come back and had conversations again.
25 years.
25 years of silence. Let me tell you something. As much as I'm quoting the good book, story wouldn't be written like that if I was in there. Because you ain't finna not talk to me for 25 years and expect me. You understand? You ain't finna expect me to go ahead and hold this down, change the world. I can't hear from you. I'd have been talked myself out of it. Maybe I heard something. Maybe the voices in my head. My point is, right? My point here is there is no such thing as procrastination. The only thing it is you haven't put what you want on the top of your priority list. You've put being busy on your priority list so you can continue to make an excuse of why you don't have what you want.
My. You're walking heavy. You're walking heavy. Okay, so that's kind of like the backdrop to some of the things that are hoping that we can get into. By the way, that live you just did, perfect timing. I was just today and talking to my niece and my sister about some stocks and what to buy. I wasn't really sure what to buy, and look, there it is. See, I'm telling you, God don't be playing with folks. People just don't be listening.
Wow, amazing.
That was just today. So let me ask you this: you this big time speaker. millionaire and all this stuff going on, 5-time bestseller and real estate mogul and all this. Now, all this stuff you have going on,
Mm-hmm.
you could be living your life in a completely different way.
Amen.
You could be living your life not concerned about whether or not I got $1 or $1 million. You can be living your life not worried about who gets you and who doesn't. Well, I mean, I know you don't worry about that, but I'm just saying in terms of the information that you give. And you give so much information that is free.
Yep.
That when I tell people, even when I say it, it doesn't even seem real.
Yeah, pretty much. I get that a lot.
So what is it about you? What is it that drives you to want to serve others? Because that's really what it's all about.
Yep.
It's about the fact that we know that if you haven't figured it out, people, you don't live for yourself.
Yeah.
You're here to live for others. So how do you put all that down, right?
Yep.
And do what you do?
Yeah, well, first let me say that I've reached a point in life in which I'm good regardless. Whether I make another dime, I'm good. I've got enough passive income to I'm good and my kids to be good to down to 2 generations. That's number one. Number two, it will be, I'm a disabled veteran. So then the Army will take care of me. So then there you go again, right? So I'm still good either way. But I don't live my life for me. And I'm not saying this in a way to get some, fans or amens. I don't own nothing. I don't own the air that I breathe. I don't own the knowledge in my head. I'm not even trying to tell you I'm a vessel. What I'm trying to tell you is my entire life is dedicated to enriching the quality of this world. And I'm more than likely going to die for my cause. My job is to make sure that I can be as close to Christ consciousness as possible while I'm here. And the last time I checked, Patricia, Jesus was not there charging folk for healing diseases. You understand? I'm not saying he didn't have his own economy. He did. I ain't saying he was poor. I'm not saying that Paul wasn't charging people to make tents. There's a time and place.
Yeah.
But when you understand that you have a responsibility to the least of these, my brothers, that it's only one of us in the room, and we are all made in the image, then you don't attempt to hoard abundance. Abundance is always meant to be shared. Here's an analogy I give to you. I tried to do it this morning. An orange tree. If I try to eat all the oranges on the orange tree, I would die from natural orange toxicity. That's a real thing. The acid in the oranges will kill me. If I try to stop Patricia and them from getting the oranges, gotta just make sure the oranges rot. So the only way to keep the tree continuously producing oranges is to share the oranges. And that's the answer to your question. Abundance is meant to be shared. And those who have great quantities of abundance are always sharing abundance because we understand that. Just think about whoever the most successful person in your family is, like from generations, the whole time you've been born. They are the most given people in your family, from your grandmother to whomever. That's the way it works. So that's the answer to your question. Abundance is meant to be shared. And this universe loves and blesses the sharer of abundance.
Yes, absolutely. And I think what even makes it even more significant is if someone knows your story, right? So I've been around children or whatever that have like been in foster care and things like that. And a lot of times it's very difficult for them to make that transition
I went through all that.
Because of the lack that they've experienced. Yeah, because of the lack they experienced in their life. And so for you to have made that transition, considering what you've been through,
oh yeah,
I think is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Listen, I went through all that. Please don't think that I got out the trash can this person. That's not what happened. I went through all that. I went through all the suicide. I went through all the selfishness. I went through all the disrespect of women because I hated my mama. I went through all the being a bully because I hated my daddy. And listen, I went through hating both my parents. At this point in my life, I realized that if I was my parents and I grew up like them, and please hear what I'm about to say, and I was them, and I made all their decisions, I would have left me homeless too. And that's powerful when you perceive that there is nothing different than my mom would have did than I would have did. I wouldn't have did anything better because nobody is better than anybody. If I had their lives and their choices and their worldview, I would have left me too. So what's important here to understand is I didn't get out the trash can abundant. But what I did is I got out. And let me just speak this over somebody. All of you, most of you, you're buried right now. You dead. You are not living. You're just alive. Those are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have to walk out the graveyard. You just got to get out the grave. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like you don't need to getting out the graveyard is too hard. Just get 1 foot out the grave and you already won. That's what I did. I got 1 foot out the grave and then it was over because you don't learn how to get out the grave and then stay there. That's not how it works.
Yeah. Wow. This is really oh, okay, this is good. Okay, so let's shift here a little bit.
Whatever you want to do. I'm here as long as you want me. I don't know how long your show is, but however long you want me, I'm gonna stay here until you feel like your episode is fire. I'm here.
Okay. Well, it's already fire, but we're gonna go on a little bit more now. So now, okay, so you guys, now you've heard his backstory. You see what he's experienced and where he's been. And I'm doing that for a reason. Because sometimes people look at other situations and think, well, they had this or they had that or they could have, or just no excuses. No excuses is where I'm coming from on that, right? So tell us, how did you make your first million?
Man, that was actually well, the concept was easy, but the thought process was hard. Les Brown has a saying that says, making my first million was easy. Believing that I deserved it was not. Basically, this is what I did. I sold 2,000 people a $500,000 product. I mean, a $500 product. There it is.
Wow.
It's that simple. It really is that simple. Just do the math yourself. You find a way to do 500 2,000 times. It's that.
Wow.
It is that simple. Now, if you want to be a millionaire, you need 3 things. Thing number 1. This ain't in no book. I'm telling y'all what I know from failing. Yeah, listen. Winning ain't never taught me anything. Losing taught me everything. Losing taught me everything. Yeah. So if you want to sell 2,000 people a $500 product, this is what you do. You got to have a product first. If you don't have a product, you need to attach yourself to someone else's product. Then what you got to do is you got to build a system to reach those 2,000 people, because it's not enough to reach 2,000 people. You have to reach something like 18,000 people to get to 2,000 sales. All right. And you kind of want to do that within a year or something. So now you need to develop a strong business system to reach 18,000 people, to reach those 2,000 people, to convert them. And then, and most importantly in this process, and I don't know why people don't get this, you have to serve people. Mm-hmm. Earl Nightingale, the dean of motivation, says there's 2 ways to make money. You work in a mint, and since y'all are not in Delaware, in the mint, or Philadelphia or something like that, Since if you do it another way, it's called counterfeit. They got felonies for that. You don't want to do that. The only other way is to serve people. Yeah. If you can tell how many people are being served in a neighborhood by judging the quality of that neighborhood. If the neighborhood is run down, those people don't serve people. They just serve minimum amount of people. If it's an upscale neighborhood, their job positions, their companies, whatever that may be, serve a lot of people. It's that simple. Have a product, develop a strong business system or systems, and serve people. In my case, I flipped 500, 2,000 times.
Oh, wow. Wow. So you talk about building a system. Can you talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah. A system. There's a book called Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. It's the follow-up to his Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And yes, ma'am. In Cash Flow Quadrant, there are 4 quadrants. Quadrant means 4. There's an employee. There's a self-employed. You don't want to be on the left side of that quadrant. Self-employed. You got a lot of people. Self-employed is people who specialize at something. But if you remove them, the business go under. A lawyer, a doctor, any one of these specialists, a mechanic. But if that mechanic isn't there, then ain't a mechanic shop. You understand what I'm saying? A coach, consultant. Well, the coach, consultant ain't there. Ain't no one. So that's all self-employed. You want to be on the right side of the quadrant, which is business owner and investor. So let's talk about business owner because that's what the systems are. Investing too, but we're focused on business owner. The answer to Patricia's question is you need to be able to walk away for a whole year. And if your company makes more money in your absence, you have a business system. That's the simple, quantifiable, and tangible answer to the question of business systems. So let's take McDonald's for an example. McDonald's business, and we all know, and you've heard this before, we all know you can make a better burger than McDonald's. Let's keep it real. McDonald's is nasty. No offense. Listen, McDonald's, I know you want to sponsor this podcast, so she's not saying this. She is not liable for the views of this guest, right? So I know y'all sponsor her, but I'm saying y'all don't taste good. We know this. But what McDonald's does is McDonald's could put a 16-year-old and run that whole system. You can't. Can a 16-year-old sophomore in high school that wants to play Fortnite run your business? If not, you ain't got a better system than McDonald's. Wow. Can 16-year-olds run your system 24 hours, 7 days a week, 3 different shifts? We all know you walk into McDonald's, fries over here. We know that. Fries to the left, right? We know where everything at because that's a system. So you want to be, and the store manager doesn't have to be in the system for the system to make money. Likewise, Antonio doesn't have to be in his system for his system to make money. So there is your tangible and practical answer to that question.
Wow. And then, of course, to serve people. I mean, that's always, you can't go wrong. You cannot.
Yeah, and that's way more than spiritual. That's practical. You can't. You can't. People, like, God ain't sending money to you. God ain't gonna say, "Here's $1 million." No, that's gonna come through people. So you gotta serve.
Thank you. So, okay, this was a question I had.
Sure.
Because I'm a goal setter. And I don't, people do vision boards and things like that. And everybody has their own process.
Good.
I'm an old school chick.
Nothing wrong with that.
I like pen and paper.
That's right. Smart, actually.
I like pen and paper, but how do you, being this individual that has this huge enterprise?
Yep.
How do you set goals?
I don't.
What do you base it on?
I don't set goals at all. I don't set goals at all. The thing about this, ladies and gentlemen, if goals would get you to $1 million, and everybody would have $1 million because everybody got goals, right? I don't set goals. Nothing wrong with setting goals. I set defining moments. There's a big difference there.
Mm.
Yes.
Come on, talk to me. Talk to me.
Big difference. I set defining moments and I make about 4 decisions a day. That's it. I'll explain both.
Okay.
A defining moment is something that when I get this accomplished, it would fundamentally define my life forever. For instance, you're in my network and you know, whenever I say time is go, which will happen here in less than 30 days, we have 760 days to get to 7 million new customers. Like, you know this, you're in the network. Mm-hmm. That's not a goal. That is something so astronomically frightening large that if I were to pull off 7 million customers in one business, I would literally do with half of a percentage of people on planet Earth have ever done. Therefore, any goal that I would have would just be met on the way to that defining moment. The defining moment changes the quality of my life. It's to say I'm a 16-year-old and I want to have the defining moment of being a lawyer. So I don't set a goal of getting accepted into college. I set a goal of being a lawyer with this amount of income that have this amount of employees or whatever that may be. And on the way to that, all those goals will set themselves.
Wow.
That's a defining moment. That's what wealthy people do. I'm just going to tell you, right? So, you know, ain't nothing wrong with goals. I'm saying, Patricia, you're too much of God to have goals. You understand?
Yeah.
Like, when you think about it, God said, let there be. He didn't say, let me set a goal. No, right? You just create. You just say, let there be this. This is what I'm going to do. And your goals will take care of themselves. Now, I avoid what you call decision fatigue. And hopefully this helps everybody because
talk about that right there.
Yes. Decision fatigue is a real thing. I actually wrote about it in my book, So Happy and Grateful, somewhere like, I don't know, first or second chapter. Anyway, it is where you just get tired of making decisions. And by 9 o'clock in the morning, now with the whole internet world, most of y'all are tired of making decisions because you've been making decisions all morning. Wealthy people only make 4 decisions a day, but they're major decisions. We wake up and we say, I'm going to serve 2,500 people today. You understand? And then that becomes one decision. And whatever is your major task, you set 4 major tasks for yourself. And you don't worry about all the little stuff because, to be honest with y'all, if you're attempting to be a millionaire, I want you to ask yourself, does a millionaire take their clothes to the cleaners? Because if not, stop taking your clothes to the cleaners. Get somebody else to do it. It's a decision you don't need to be doing no more. I had to make this decision. When I decided to become a billionaire, which I ain't too far away, I asked myself, man, as a billionaire, do I drive? And I said no. So literally in 2016, before I became a millionaire, I stopped driving. Like real talk. I just stopped driving. And I literally said, I'm an Uber everywhere. And then my team said, man, hey, stop giving that money to Uber. Get that money to us. I said, okay. And from that point on, I've been having chauffeurs. I've been having chauffeurs from that moment forth. If I drive, we all shocked. I just don't drive. I just figured, I'm not telling you as you a billionaire, you can't drive. I'm just telling you as me as a billionaire, I ain't driving. I'm not doing it. I ain't driving, and I ain't taking my clothes to the cleaners, and I ain't doing all that stuff. Because all those are decisions. And the more I'm focused on where I'm driving, is the more I'm not focused on 7 million customers or whatever I need to accomplish that day. So you want to limit yourself to 4 huge decisions a day. And then make sure you follow through. And they need to be so big so you can call those goals, right? So big. And then if you don't accomplish them, they just roll over to the next day and you knock them out. But you stop making sure you got all these empty promises because you're going to be left with a bunch of empty yesterdays. You don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Okay, I got to go back to the defining moments.
Sure.
The light bulb.
You're pulling a lot out of me. I haven't talked about this stuff in a long time.
I got a revelation, right? Okay, so
I hear your voice, Remy. Watch yourself over there.
So, okay, about 6 months ago, and I keep talking about this day because it was a pivotal day for me. Up early in the morning, and I'm putting pen to paper.
Right.
I'm not putting pen to paper of things that I want.
Okay.
I'm listening to what the Lord is saying to do.
I can dig it.
Okay, so because sometimes we have our minds about what we want to do, but that really may not be the best for us.
Fair enough.
Stop and listen. And what I did was, and I turned that book into I called it my dream book, right? So what I wrote down in that book were really defining moments. Now that you say that, and I think about what was written down.
That's right.
Because there are some things that have happened that I have that were written down that I have not even pursued yet. I never even pursued it. But it is already either coming to pass now. Right. Of course, we're in time. God's out. It goes to the Lord. It's already done.
That's right.
But it's just coming, or it's in my next phase.
That's right.
Of development in my business.
That's right.
So what I wrote, those were downloads that I received that I wrote down.
That's right.
And I did not even know how those things were going to even happen.
Yeah.
I couldn't have told you if I tried. One of them was publishing company. Now, it was a publishing, but I've learned. Write it down. I don't have to understand it.
You don't need to.
I don't need to understand it, but write it down.
That's right.
And I wrote it down. What I have in that book are defining moments.
Look at you.
Bam.
And you didn't even know it.
I did not even know it.
But God said, I'll never leave you or forsake you. So while you didn't know it, you and God just writing what you're going to be in your book.
I can't even tell people what I wrote down. I can't tell them.
No. You can't. Even if you try to tell them, they're not going to understand. And I'm not even talking about, people don't understand because God didn't give you that vision. Now, people just don't speak success. What you wrote down in that book was success. So if you attempt to tell somebody in that book what's in the book and they don't speak success, you're going to have a language barrier.
You have a language barrier.
You understand? And they just not going to hear you. They're going to hear you say, take your time. Or they're going to tell you, say, but just don't want all that. Let me tell you something. Whatever you want, God wants. How can, and in fact, let me charge you directly. Let me charge you directly, Patricia. How can I know your God is good if you don't show me? If you don't go show me what you said you was gonna do, then I can't see your God. It's that simple. Yep. It is that simple. It is that simple. There is a text in scripture, I believe it's John 15:8. If not, I'll think about it here in a second after I'm finished talking. It say that you can, the verse before that says, listen, God wants the glory. And then it says, how do you know he wants glory? By what you gonna do. And if you don't bear fruit, you cannot be a disciple. So you can be saved, but until you got fruit. You're not a duplicator of this Christ consciousness.
My God.
You can't tell me God is good and I can't get $20 from you.
Mm.
Anyway, I don't want to
Come
bother
on
nobody.
now.
I
Oh
don't
my God.
Yeah, I don't want to bother nobody.
That is, I mean, that is just, oh my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Okay, my mind is just going. This is awesome. The defining moments. I go back to the book of Genesis, and I saw the story of Adam in the garden in a completely different way one time.
Good.
God was teaching me about vision, and he used the Garden of Eden, because there's a part of it that says that basically the garden, even though God created the Garden of Eden, it didn't grow because there was no man to work the garden. So the vision was the Garden of Eden is what the Lord set forth, but the Lord didn't work the garden.
No.
He created Adam to work
the
garden. And the garden was not fruitful until he worked the garden. So he was a manager. Adam was the manager. We know the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof.
What it is. Well, you speaking well.
And Adam was the manager of that garden.
That's right.
And he was to manage that garden under the delegated authority. And I say delegated authority because the Lord gave him specific instructions. Now, he didn't tell him necessarily how to do the whole thing. He just gave him some general instructions and said, roll with it.
Right. And you're absolutely right. As a matter of fact, I would tell you, being too humble. God said, Adam, rule with me.
Yeah.
That's what the text says. Right. And that's the original language.
Yeah.
We transliterate that in the Greek as akons. Rule with me. What we mess up is we try to rule as God. Mm-hmm. That's what's happening right now in the 21st century.
Yeah.
But you hit the nail on the head when you say, yeah, you didn't give me instructions. Look, Adam, you make it up. You do the same thing to you. Patricia, you make it up.
You do it.
You do it. I gave you dominion over that notebook you keep writing in. Now rule with me in it.
Yeah. Okay, now look, we're gonna move on a little bit here. We're gonna move on. This is too good. Okay, so why? So, well, I mean, I know the overall reason why you wrote the book, The Richest Man in the Trash Can.
Yep.
But what were your expectations when you wrote that? What was the outcome you were looking for when you wrote that book?
To give away 10 million copies. It's the only expectation. We want to give away 10 million copies. We're on our way. I haven't even counted. It's a bunch of thousands out there for sure. We haven't got to a million yet, but to give away 10 million copies. I wrote that book with never the intention to make money. As a matter of fact, if you buy it from Amazon, it's God bless you, thank you. But I made sure that all those royalties go to the publisher. I made sure of that. I didn't want a dime from this money. This was part of my legacy. Yeah. My end goal, the only goal, was to give away 10 million copies. I figured if I can give away 10 million copies of the 36 objective laws to lead the middle class that they not telling you, and all my secrets of how I got here, then together I can find 100,000 people to help me change the collective consciousness of this world. I'm not looking for everybody. I just need a few Patricias, and I take this thing on. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't looking for everybody. You give me a few Patricias, a few Tempests, a few Deannas, a few Chris's, it's going down. Add in some Graces. It's over. It's over. Right? It's completely over. I'm not looking for everybody, but I want to give 10 million copies away. That's why I wrote it.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about ATS and why your whole thought process kind of a little bit behind ATS and what it actually is.
Yeah, ATS was a company I founded. So I always wanted to be rich and famous. Like, you know, everybody be lying. No, I knew as a kid in the trash can I was going to be rich and famous. So don't let me take the humble ride on y'all. I said It makes sense psychologically. I'm broken down, right? I said everybody forgot me. I'm gonna make sure I'm rich and famous, and nobody ever forget me. You understand? Of course I said this, right? Of course I did. I'm a homeless kid in a trash can. You can't imagine what it feel like to be a kid and nobody celebrates your birthday. You can't even process that information, right? That's hard to process. Nobody thinks about that. Nobody thinks about that. And to backtrack in the beginning of the interview, I failed the 5th and 6th grade because that's at least in Galveston County, Texas. That's when they start giving homework. How can I do homework with no running water and no lights? It just makes sense, right? It just literally makes sense. So for me, ATS is the first time anything I ever did just blew up in this major way. Everything else was just in preparation for that. That's a word for somebody. Okay? Word for somebody. I was always doing well, doing things, learning. But what I was learning was how not to get knocked in the face. That's what I was learning, right? Okay, here's failure. Ooh, I know how to duck that now.
Yeah.
I built ATS out of a need. I was trying to do something else, ran out of money. So me with a wealth mindset, said, well, let me build another company to get some low-hanging fruit is how it started. I was going to coach and counsel, which I don't do anymore. And I'll do that. And from this need for more money, $30,000, something like that to be exact, started ATS. I don't even try to get creative for this. This was just me trying to solve this need. So I literally, this is the first time I named the company after me. Like I ain't never did that, right? I didn't try to get creative. By this time I'm lazy. I just said, man, listen, man, my initials is ATS. That's what we're going to call it. You understand? That's what we're going to call it, just like that. ATS JR, because I'm a junior, right? That's it. Boom. And that's how it came out. What it developed to be is the fastest, quickest, most harmonious way for me to serve my purpose on planet Earth. So if I had any way to summarize what I'm attempting to say in this point here, is not only just keep moving forward, but you never know when what you're about to do is going to work unless it's born in the pain. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, if it's born out of pain, you can guarantee God in it.
My God.
You guarantee it. Because God don't just show up when your faith full, he also shows up when your faith less.
Yeah.
And in a faithless moment, driving down the street, upset at my living conditions after I should have hit it big, God goes, there it is. And I moved on it. And that's how we're here. There you go. There's your backstory.
Wow. So tell everybody, what is ATS?
In its simplicity, it is the #1 millionaire making platform in the world. What I've done is I reverse engineered how I became a millionaire, and we teach in its core business, sales, and marketing. It's been called the Netflix of business, essentially for very low monthly subscriptions, $59.99, $19.99, and in different countries, $4.99. You can take unlimited business courses, sales courses, and marketing courses that are relevant, that are up to date, and the students determine what's being taught. So essentially what I did, Patricia, is I found a new way to do college, and I'm currently disrupting the college industry, and I'm also disrupting the coaching industry at the same time. And whenever you disrupt an industry, you literally become a millionaire. You just got to figure out a way how to do an old thing a new way. I reinvented higher education.
Higher education.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. Okay, so I got a couple of quick questions for you as we close out. What can you give me 3 of the top things that the middle class do that the upper 1% doesn't do?
Oh my God, good stuff. The first thing you do is you send your kids to college. Stop that. You stop that right now. The wealthy don't send their kids to college. And if they do, they only send their kids to college to go learn who the next Barack Obama is. All right. So stop sending your kids to college. That doesn't mean college ain't good. It ain't though. But it just means we got two different motives. The second thing the wealthy do is the middle class do that the wealthy don't do is y'all buy cars. What about no cars? I don't own a car right now, and the car I do own, if I tell you about it, you wouldn't even believe I own it, right? We don't do that stuff because it's a depreciating asset. We never do that. I have a billionaire friend that taught me the only cars he buys collectibles. Why? Because they always go up in value. And the third thing that the middle class do, that the wealthy do not do, is we don't spend our money.
Yeah.
Period. And we don't go to banks. And if we do go to bank, we have an asset of a whole bunch of customers paying off that loan. Y'all pay y'all bills. We don't. Our assets do. You shouldn't have asked me that question.
But that is so good. And you know what? Sometimes if I'm being too much of a consumer, I get like a kick. You're being too much of a consumer.
Good.
You're being too much of a consumer.
Oh God, drop kick you in your shoulder the next time you do that.
Now I have this thing about pearl necklaces that I'm still trying to get over. I have way too many, more than one person needs to own. However,
nothing wrong with that. If you figure out how to make them make your money, then
exactly
you're doing
right.
Yeah.
But I really don't shop the way I used to. You know, I don't look at brands and, you know, I don't care about no Michael Kors dress.
Yep.
I make the dress. So when I put the dress on, I make the dress. Michael Kors don't make me.
I know that's right.
Right? So it's just, you know, I think like my daughter wants some Jordans. I was like, how much you think them Jordans are? 200. Now she got money. Girlfriend keeps a grip. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want to buy them, that's your choice. But I ain't paying no $200 for no tennis shoes. Now, that ain't happening with me. So, but you know, it is.
Hold on. Let me, because you just blessed yourself. I'd say two things here. Number one, since you like pearls, just challenge yourself. I won't buy another pearl that I like until one of my customers buy it for me. There you go. That's what you do. That's what the wealthy would do. What the wealthy do? If his pearl costs $150, all right, then you need to figure out how to sell $150 worth of shirts. And now, who cares what the pearls cost? It ain't your money.
It ain't my money.
Yes. It's not your money. This is what the wealthy do. This is what I meant by we don't spend our money. That's what I meant. Go ahead. I just wanted to bless you with that.
Wow. And you know what? You also talked about one day. You said, okay, say for instance, you want to buy some property.
Yep.
And you said, I just threw out an arbitrary number, $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go because you want to invest. You want to become a real estate investor, and then you get $5,000. And you said what most of us would do, would just spend the whole $5,000.
Yep.
And then what did you tell us is wrong with that, and what should we do with that if that's what we want to do?
No doubt. So there's two ways to do this. What I didn't tell y'all is you can just go to the Green Sheet or whatever free newspapers in there. You can find somebody rent to own and then put $2,500 down. And then you find you a renter that's going to rent before you do that and have that renter pay for your agreement with the rent to own person. And right now you got $2,500 left. That's one way. And then whatever they charge you, let's say they charge you $1,100 a month, you just charge the renter $1,300 a month. You make a $200 profit, you pay all the bills, the renter is paying the bills, and then after a year with all their monthly payments, you go to the bank. You then tell the bank that this person has been paying the rent the whole time. You put yourself on a little rent to own deed, buy to own deed. And then basically the bank then writes a check with their credit to then pay off the whole house. whoever gave you the rent to own house gets paid, and you keep the difference in the appreciation. Now you walk away with $20,000-$30,000. They walk away what they asked for, and the renter walks away with a house. Boom. That's one way that I didn't tell you. Free
okay,
day.
I'm gonna have to. What do you say? Rent around and rest it all.
Yeah,
I'm have to catch that one on the replay. Okay, you lost me there for a minute. Okay, what's the other way?
The other way is you take your $5,000, you find something that actually works, a deal that actually works, and then you say, bank, I got $5,000. This is 25% down on this. So you had to find what's 25% down. So this obviously be a small house. And for every dollar that you give the bank, they give you 4 back. That means you buying a $20,000 house. Believe me, they're out there. Okay, they're out there, $20,000 houses. And obviously in a low income neighborhood, but they're out there. The house is worth $20,000, need some fix up. Now you take your $5,000 and you borrow $20,000. What do? You find you a renter. At $20,000, that loan would be something like $181 a month. Your the escrow, what about the insurance and the taxes is what I'm trying to say, will push that up to $300 a month. Guess what? It's a 2-bedroom house in a low income area. You can literally charge for a house $800 with fair market rent value. So $800 to $900 a rent. Now you're making $600 in profit. And then what do? You have your $300 and that renter is paying off your $300 and you pocket $600 every single month. But don't go buy no pearls with the $600. You do the $600 again and you keep letting that stack up. You get to another $5,000 with that $600. So what is that? 5,000. So now it would take you 7 months. No, that's not 7. It would take you 9 months to get another $5,000. And when you get to that another $5,000, you just go do the same deal again. Now you're making $1,200 a month, and you go do it again, and you go do it again, and now you're getting paid off for 10 houses, $600 a piece. You're making $6,000 a month. Now you get all the pearls you want.
You listen. Let me tell you about. Listen, let me tell you all out here about the ATS companies. Did you all just hear that? Did you
every day?
That we get this kind of knowledge every single day for free. We get this kind of information every day. If you want to be a part of ATS, you have got to get in with this business university. My number is scrolling across the bottom of this screen. I need you right now to text me and say, I am in. I'm the door today. I'm the doorkeeper today.
That's right.
So if you want to get to hear from this man again, you got to come through a sister.
That's right. That's the way it works.
You got to come through me. I can get you in. And you guys, this is just a little snippet of what kind of information. If you are a person who is just out here doing business on your own, like I was, this is a group economic situation unlike anything I have ever seen. These are not individuals that say, oh, I'm a millionaire, or, I'm going to be a millionaire, whatever. And they're trying to become a millionaire off of you. These are people, there are millionaires in this group.
Yep.
And listen, where else can you go to find, and I'm going to put a plural, millionaire. To find millionaires that simply want to bless you. Come on, they just want to bless you.
Yeah. It's at least 14 millionaires in the group and 1 billionaire.
Oh my! And there's a billionaire in the group?
A 2 billionaire.
Oh my goodness! See, I didn't even know. Where can you go? Seriously, where can you go to receive that kind of information? People that just purely want to bless you. They don't want anything in return.
Yeah.
They just want to bless you. You see that number scrolling across the bottom of that screen? You need to get in contact with me today. I don't care if you don't have a product. Don't worry. Come on. There's product here already. You don't even need a product. The university is a product.
They can go through you and sell my products.
And I was going to say, you're a product.
There you go.
Antonio T. Smith is a product. I mean, you guys, this is serious. I know I'm joking, but this is serious. It is time out for being subjected to whoever's in office, however which way the stock market is flowing. Are you tired of it? I am. I'm about building my own economy. I'm about leaving a spiritual inheritance, but a financial inheritance.
Right.
But see, my whys as to why I do what I do is my family. That's my children. And I know that God, I listen, you may not know me and I may not know you, but God has put greatness on each and every one of us on the inside of us. But if you don't believe it, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to have to get your mind right. You're going to have to get your mind right. Maybe you're sitting around, you're watching this, you go, oh, I don't really need no money. You know, you're retired, your husband retired, y'all living good. You all are already blessing and helping everybody else. Let me tell you something. The root of money, the love of money is the root of all evil. But the Bible also says that money solves a multitude of issues. There are situations that money can solve. And if you can't think past your own family, let me give you some. You look at Haiti. Look at Puerto Rico. Look at the homeless in your neighborhood. Come on. Look at the single mother trying to make it, trying to live right and make it. And she on the bus at 5:30 in the morning with her child, because that was me. That just needs a leg up. A car would change her life. What about digging wells in countries where there is no clean water and children are drinking dirty, diseased water? So if you think that you sitting good and you all right and you cool, well, I don't know what to say. But let me tell you, I got a multitude of things that I can use some money for. And my declaration is $1 million is going to be my pocket change. So see, there are many reasons to be a part of this organization. Building residual income, advancing in your own business, group economics. You're with a group of like-minded individuals that are all moving forward in the same direction. You can't beat it. Antonio, I've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of business this and business that. I've never seen, honestly. And I'm not a group person. I don't like, groupie. I'm not a groupie person. I'm more of an introverted kind of person. By myself. But I'll hang out with you guys every day.
I sure appreciate you.
Every day. So listen, you guys, look at this. 832-429-8296. Whether you're watching it now or the replay, get in contact with me and get in with this group of awesome individuals that are making a change in the world. I expect to see some text messages on my phone.
That's it.
On my phone, because I'm telling you, I'm that serious about my life, and I'm that serious about this organization. So, Antonio, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Listen, you're going to have to come back. You're going to
come back anytime you want.
And we're going to have to talk some more stuff. I'm still on defining moments. I can't even get past all this. I'm going to have to watch. Listen, I'm here, but I'm going to have to watch this replay my own self.
Yes.
Because there were nuggets that were released, and I don't want to miss a single one of them.
No,
So
that's fine.
thank you
You're very welcome.
again. Thank you so much again. And I will see you in the morning, 8 a.m. 8 a.m.
That's it. I sure appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank
and I'll
you.
come back anytime you want me to.
All righty. I like that.
All right, dear.
Have a great evening.
You too.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, you guys, listen again. If you want to know, if you want to be able to have access to this kind of information on the regular, if you want to listen, even if you want to just sit in on a call just to hear what's going on, hit me up, 832-429-8296. I'll invite you to the call and then you can hear for yourself. Because I'm not about a bunch of foolishness, and I like to have fun. I'm not about a bunch of foolishness. Life is serious. There are serious issues in life, and it's going to take serious solutions to be able to overcome the things that we are experiencing. So I invite you to come in and join in with us as we are building this interview. Again, if you are interested in building your empire, if you are interested in creating your own economy, hit me on that number at the bottom and we can have a conversation. Thank you all so much again for joining in. Thank you for listening. I pray that there was something said in this broadcast that blessed you, because I know I heard a lot that blessed me. So again, thank you for joining the Live Like Lifestyle podcast, where our mission is to empower change in your everyday life. Good night, everybody, and I'll see you guys again soon.